Now we're going to get to my exclusive interview with the fiancé of George Papadopoulos, the Trump campaign foreign policy advisor who became the first witness to plead guilty in the Russia investigation. He is cooperating now with prosecutors, and now Simona Mangiante is revealing details for the first time about how they met, his work on the campaign, and why Papadopoulos is working with the special counsel. George Papadopoulos is witness one in the Russia investigation. Simona calls him a patriot for working with prosecutors. And you believe he will end up, as you said, on the right side of history.
He's already on the right side of history. I think he will make a big difference.
A big difference?
Yes.
In what way?
Helping, clarifying all that happened. His contribution will be very important.
They met during the presidential campaign, September 2016.
He reached out for me based on my LinkedIn. We both worked actually for Professor Mifsud.
Professor Joseph Mifsud, the man described in court records as an overseas professor with substantial connections to Russian government officials, who told Papadopoulos about Russians possessing dirt on Hillary Clinton in the form of thousands of emails. So you've known Professor Mifsud for some time, for several years.
Yes, more than George. And he's extremely connected at high level in different governments, including the Italian government.
Russians?
Russian as well. I mean, I assume he does, absolutely. I remember he was often coming back from trips from Moscow.
So if it turns out he was working for the Russian government, it doesn't sound like you'd be surprised.
No, absolutely not.
Do you think he sought out George because George was working for the Trump presidential campaign?
I know that he was interested in George because he was working for Trump.
When word of Papadopoulos' plea deal broke in October, the administration downplayed his contribution to the campaign. The president called him a low-level volunteer. A former campaign advisor said this.
He was the coffee boy.
No, George is a remarkable young man with an incredible experience in the professional experience in the field of energy and oil policies. This experience led him to get into the campaign and to advise the president at only 28 years old. He set up meetings with leaders all over the world. He was constantly in touch with the high-level official of the campaign, and he never took any initiative, as far as I know, unauthorized. Constantly
in touch, you say, with members of the campaign. Was he in touch with the chief strategist, Steve Bannon?
Yes, as far as I know, yes. I know Steve Bannon, Michael Flynn.
He was in touch with Michael Flynn, General Flynn?
Yes, as well.
And this is by email, by phone calls?
Yes, being based in London, most of his communication were via email.
So you're saying he had communications with top levels of the campaign?
Yes.
Everything he was doing was with the knowledge of those officials?
As far as I know, absolutely yes. I never took any initiative without the blessing of the campaign.
And you believe that he can demonstrate that?
Absolutely, yes.
You've seen the emails?
Yes.
Mangiante says Papadopoulos hoped to land a job in the Trump administration. But just a week after President Trump's inauguration, it all came crashing down. On January 27th of this year, he gets interviewed by the FBI. What did he think that was about?
My feeling is that all this came completely out of the blue. And I think he didn't even worry too much because he didn't feel as he had anything to hide.
When did he know he was in trouble?
I think when they made it clear to him that after the arrest, he understood that he was in trouble.
Not before that?
I don't think so. As soon as he found out that he committed a mistake, he took responsibility for that, and he passed to the right side of history, in my view.
And that's the decision to cooperate.
Exactly. And it was very brave because he has been the first one, and he is helping a lot.
You describe him as both loyal to Trump and a patriot.
Yes, he is.
And he's doing his patriotic duty by cooperating with the special counsel?
Yes. Absolutely.
And Mangiante was also interviewed by authorities. When were you interviewed by the FBI?
October, a month ago.
After George had pled guilty?
The same day George pled guilty, I received a subpoena from Mueller.
No kidding?
Yes.
Bring us inside that room. What did they ask you?
They wanted to know my connection with Mifsud, some of my connection at the European Parliament, and other personal questions about me and George.
Is it true, I heard this, is it true they asked if you speak Russian?
Yes.
So do you speak Russian?
I can only say spasiba, that's all.
Spasiba. And you're not Russian?
No.
How surprised do you think I and everyone watching at home will be when they learn the whole story?
I think it's very interesting that George will write a book about it and really saying his side of the story, giving more details about what happened.
With the president, from what you know, will the president be happy with the story George tells?
I think he tried to dismiss George as a coffee boy, so I'm sure he will not be happy to read that there are consistent evidences that he was not a coffee boy.
Other than that, what is he doing all day now? What does he do?
Taking notes for the book. He wants to just write, to say his stories, and thinking about different options for the future.
From what you know about his story, what do you think the title of that story is?
Don't want to spoil his premiere, but I think he has been sort of the first domino in the Russiagate.
The first domino in Russiagate. Yeah, that was really something. She also described how, after he was arrested by the FBI, how much he learned from Mueller and his team, which convinced him that this was a much bigger story. Fascinating stuff. Well, we're all sitting here talking. We're not exactly sure why she's speaking out.
Yeah, I know. I kept asking you, like, why would she agree to speak out? And she's Italian.
She's an Italian citizen, okay. And she does say, I think what really got to them, and you saw it in the interview, was this description by a Trump campaign official as a coffee boy.
So by getting his feelings hurt, it really made him want to say, hey, there's enough of this.
Yeah, we should say we reached out to both Steve Bannon and Michael Flynn, our team did, and they got no response yet. Also, that Professor Joseph Masuda, who's named in this charging documents, in October he acknowledged to the Daily Telegraph that he is indeed the man described in the papers, but he has denied any wrongdoing or knowledge of the Clinton emails.
But with her talking, it doesn't hurt the case in any way, does it?
No, and she's allowed to talk. Actually, he's allowed to talk if he wants to, although his sentencing is coming up. I think he's going to be working on the book until at least after that sentencing.
I think that's fascinating how she said he wants to get on the right side of history.
Yep, and a patriot.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, George.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.